Welcome back to the BlasterX Cup finals here on Team Down TV. I'm Michael Willie Erkt, and I'm here with my good friend, my new friend Lemmy. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, really good, man. Just getting prepped for this big game here. Uh, it's quite warm here in Queensland. However, over the lunch break, managed to air out the room a little bit, and yeah, I'm getting really keen to see some good action from these teams here.
Yeah, so we've got Project 90 Elites versus Team SkyFire. This is going to be a good one, I think. SkyFire managing to take down Avant, actually, who we saw was in pretty fine form, and they did it quite convincingly as well. Project 90 Elites haven't really had a test, so to speak, by a good team just as yet, so this would be their first real test. But when you look at this roster, Destiny, Matt City, Dizzy, Pixel, and Gaza, that's a pretty scary roster to come up against. So I don't imagine they're going to have too much trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a bit of a stomp for Project 90 Elites, but I'm hoping Skyfire can, show us something a little bit, show us a good game because AJK is filling in for Ian, who's a bit of a star player for these guys. So maybe losing a bit of their firepower there, but doesn't mean that they don't have a chance. I think this is going to be a good game. It looks like the map is going to be Mirage after the vetoes are all said and done. So we've got another Mirage game, but I can't complain because we get to see two pretty much brand new teams here, which might end up being in Div 1 next season based on the results of this tournament. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it will be, and yeah, we have seen Mirage already. However, like you said, it's going to be very interesting, and it'll give CG and a few other people a bit of a feel for these teams and see how they play and what their lineups consist of and their play style and just how well they go in this map. A lot sort of counts on that, and Project 90, I personally think have a huge chance of possibly coming first. I think that they are my personal favorite. I know that might seem a little bit different to a lot of people, but I think that they have a really solid lineup, and I think that they can, I think they have the potential to go all the way. So we're getting into the knife round here, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see which team will start on various sides, and yeah, we do have Skyfire up against Project 90, and knife round is underway. So we do have some interesting players on the side of Project 90. We got Dizzy, who's played for the likes of Chiefs and Aura and Frenetic Array in the past, and Destiny, who's played with Streamline, XL5, and yeah, so they do have a lot of talent on this side, and yeah, we'll see what they can produce very shortly.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting as they do manage to pick up that knife round. So it looks like they will be staying on that CT side, the more favorable side on this map, but not by much at the moment. I think the meta sort of shifted so that the T side in general is a lot more. It's a lot easier to get T rounds than it has been in a very long time. So it's not a death sentence like it maybe once was. Starting on that T side on various CT sided maps like Mirage. We do see from time to time 6, 7, even 8 round T sides on this map, and that doesn't even guarantee you the win sometimes. So it looks like we're going into the pista round here in the upper bracket. P90 Elites versus, it says Team Immunity up the top, but I assure you this is Team Skyfire. They've just got that one stand in with AJK Freak standing in for Ian. And they're going to be starting on the T side. Looks like they're going to go towards B as we see Gazarax is going to jump right out the window with Matt CD, and they're going to go quite aggressive up mid here, wasting no time. They do get blinded there. Philo is going to spot them out, and Gaz is more than happy to take this fight and does take down Philo there. So that's the smoke and the flash gun. So Pixel, though, he does manage to get a bit of information there and does take down Jokes, and starting out as they hope to go on here. P90 Elites. Pixel with the second, and he's still fighting. Maybe gets the third. They do get the bomb down. That's a good job there by Smurfy. But these trades just going back and forth in P90 Elite's favor. And now it's all up to Jester in this 1v3, and he goes down to Destiny, getting that 2k. Great round starting for P90 Elites.
Yeah, the SkyFire boys, they got a bit of information in the early stages of that round from seeing the 2 push up mid from Project 90, and yeah, it was interesting because they waited maybe 4 or 5 seconds to push that apps once they had that intel, and yeah, they couldn't manage to hold on to that site, but forced onto the eco here. The SkyFire boys, they managed to pick up 2 kills in that last round. Yeah, and managed to get the bomb planted as well. So we're seeing a scout on Dizzy, some SMGs and a few rifles there for the Project 90 boys. And yeah, we'll see who can assert their dominance over this map, as Pixel's taken a few pod shots there onto Philo. He'll take him down in apartments. So that's 1 man down, as Gaz is going to get really, really aggressive on this mid position, and he's going to turn around and get a JK freak. And well, the P90 boys are getting very aggressive now. No patience for sitting around, just full-on aggression. It's serving them well, managing to decimate, as Pixel's going to find one in apartments. Good job, and there it is, the last kill sealed by Destiny, and that's going to bring us to 2-0 and a buy round here for SkyFire after getting that planted in the first round.
Yeah, bit of an interesting anti-eco round rather from SkyFire there, just sort of prodding and poking, spreading out, trying to get some information about what sort of weapons P90 are using and where they're putting them. They have stuck with this scout on Dizzy and the 2 P90s for Matt CD and Destiny, with that Famous on Pixel, the only M4 rather being on Gaza. So I feel like SkyFire, they definitely do have the advantage here with those 5 AKs, though they don't have that much utility. So but in saying that, it is sort of on par with P90 Elite, so a pretty even round going into this third round. Would be good to see SkyFire pick this up, because it's going to be harder and harder as the economy gets built up by P90 Elites. As we see Gaza just throwing some grenades in there on AJK. He has to mind his manners a little bit as he does show that presence there. And Gaza's actually more than confident to move up here into this forward position, and as Pixel rotates into short. But this is all just a distraction by AJK, keeping these 2 players here. And he's actually even Dizzy moving slightly towards B there before he second guesses himself and looks back towards apartments. As we see the smokes come out now, and we see Jester actually moving out on the side there. He does take down Destiny. AJK now moving up here. He's going to catch Gaza in the back. That CD goes down after getting 1 on Jokes. Dizzy Life does manage to get 1 with that 5-7, spraying wildly into the smoke. Can't find Philo though, so Philo really needs to pick up the frag here, but no, Dizzy's too quick on the trigger, and now it's a 2v2. Dizzy is quite low though. There's no grenades on the counter-terrorist side. Pixel doesn't have a kit, only Dizzy does, so this is going to be really difficult here. It should be quite easy for them to stop this defuse should it come out. They do take the fight there. Smurfy does take down Dizzy. Pixel does take down Jester. Now Pixel's quite low in this 1v1. I don't think he has time to do this. He doesn't have a kit, well, he does now, but I think the bomb's just about to explode. So quite a good round there by SkyFire, just getting that information and then the straight execute onto A. AJK getting that nice lurk kill on Gaza on short and closing that round out.
Yeah, SkyFire obviously having a bit of a gun advantage there, but managed to secure that first crucial round for their team. And so that forces Project 90 onto some P250s, as we do see Destiny just pushing in that tunnel sort of underpass area. And it looks like SkyFire are going to go for a bit of mid control here, as Philo's going to find Dizzy. And yeah, it looks like SkyFire, I mean, they do have the gun advantage. Once again, it looks like the momentum would swing into their ways, into their team. But yeah, we'll see what happens here as Smurfy and Jester both find 1 on separate parts of the map, and so Pixel and Gaz, they're the only two members remaining, and it's a little bit tough for him at the moment. I think Gaz just got some good information there mid, but there's not much he can do about it. He's only got that P250, and it looks like the boys from SkyFire are going to go towards B side here. There is one member there. That would be the man Pixel, and he's playing quite a defensive role there, but if he could get one gun here, it would be very beneficial. He doesn't manage to do it, and now Gaz, he's flanking his way all the way through T-spawn, and he's going to go and approach this one from Apps, but Jokes is already there, and he's got this angle, and it looks like he's just going to get decimated, and Gaz is going to go down there. So a 2-2 scoreline here, and yeah, the money's good. Project 90 now, so they are able to buy up. They're going to get that AWP onto Dizzy. That's going to be pretty influential. And yeah, we'll get into this 5th round.
Yeah, we see that AWP on Dizzy, and that's going to be very key there. He's in the middle here, as we see SkyFire once again taking this mid control, but Destiny so fast into the underpass, takes 2 out in those B apartments, and he's hungry for more, and this is what we've come to know about Destiny. Once he gets a couple of kills, he's just blood drunk a little bit, running at his opponents. Dizzy managed to get Billow there, and Gaza as well. So once these rifles come out, P90 more than happy to stomp their claim into this map. You know, stepping all over SkyFire really, and it's going to be very hard here. Jester does manage to get a little bit of damage there onto Dizzy. He's actually going to get all the way into CT spawn here. A fair effort, but it's still a 1v3. If he can get one more kill here, that's probably a job well done, but I would be surprised if he could get more than that. He's going to take some shots through the box there from Gaza and Pixel. He does manage to jump up. I don't know how he's still alive. He's just taking all these fights from these CT players. He's still somehow fighting. He doesn't even know where he's getting shot from. He's just spraying wildly, and finally Pixel does take him down, put him out of his misery. As P90 Elites take their 3rd round, just showing that they are these players that can just run at you and get these kills. And SkyFire really need to be on their toes.
Yeah, Jester didn't even have the bomb there. I think he was trying to bait out maybe some nades and get him off the hands of Project 90 perhaps, and just kind of doing his best to maybe sneak a kill in there, but Smurfy's going to find one onto Destiny. Destiny a little bit out of position, I think. Not the best angle to hold from that T-stair area, but now they're down 1 player, so AJK has that Tech 9, so let's see what he can do with that. It's looking like a bit of an A-site push, perhaps sending a few down mid. One player seems to be moving back here for SkyFire. It's looking like they're going to approach the A site, and it's not a bad strategy either, because there's only one man on the actual A bomb site itself. I mean, Dizzy is holding from sort of jungle area, but they're going to execute here SkyFire, and they do get a massive flashbang to the face, and that's going to slow down, but the rotations are coming through from Project 90 as AJK is going to find one, and so's Jokes and Smurfy all going to find one each, and so now it's just up to Gaz, and that was a really, really good execute considering they were flashed on that entry there, although Gaz is just like, no way you boys planting this on my watch, and he drops down 2. And Gaza, will he find another? He does, and he nearly clutches that one out and picks up 3 kills. But Jester, once again, that one man right at the end, and he decides to get that kill and secure that round for SkyFire. But awesome work there from the boys from Project 90 in the end, managing to get those 3 kills.
Yeah, Gaza just showing, what type of team this is. It's a team of 5 players who can just out of nowhere explode and get all the kills that they could ever possibly need in a round. And SkyFire really do need to be aware of that. But I like this. They do actually buy 3 SMGs, realizing that P90 Elites will be on that eco, trying to build up their economy a little bit and use the mobility of those weapons. As we see Dizzy go down to that MP7 of AJK. Destiny does manage to get some fire onto AJK there, but it's not enough, and Pixel here is probably going to go down as well, and in fact he does. So 4 out of the kills going to those SMGs, so they build up a bit more of that economy, and you can see that P90 Elites are still in a pretty bad economic position, so they might have to eco once again. Skyfire though, man, it's really distracting that they're called Team Immunity. Skyfire though, are going to keep those, actually drop those SMGs and pick up some rifles. Philo the only one with a P90. So, uh, I don't blame them. It is hard to read when CTs have to double eco sometimes, so it's not that bad a call. But this should be another convincing round for Skyfire. I like how they're playing this. They're actually playing quite close together, with numbers and using these guns. But they need to be careful here. Those grenades do quite a lot of damage, and if they get pincered here by the P90 Elites players, they might be in trouble.
Yeah, and they did push for that early mid troll and just happened to stumble upon Gaz, who was doing the rotation there, and managed to pick Gaz off. So, Skyfire boys, they do have those AKs, and I would suspect Project 90 to hopefully just save one of those guns, maybe take down a couple of those players, because there it is. Dizzy's going to fly one onto Philo, and Destiny going huge here on AJK, and that's exactly what they would have been hoping for. 2 guns out of the hands of Skyfire, as Smurfy's going to find one in connector, but there is a player behind, and Smurfy's already spotted that one. And Dizzy's the last man alive, but all in all, not too bad. I mean, Dizzy can still do some damage, but no, Smurfy, he's going to find the head of Dizzy, and there we go. Now we can see a buy here from Project 90, and they'd be looking to make full use of that one, as Dizzy does have that AWP once again. It'll be a very interesting round, this one.
Yeah, very important round for P90 Elites. Just important to note, Smurfy's so key reading that that big flank was coming from Matt CD. Matt CD pushed into the apartments in that last round, and he had the number on a few players, and he chose to bide his time, hoping to pick up a gun and then more players with the better weapon. But Smurfy read it like a book and managed to take him down before he got the better of him. As we see Pixel there fighting in middle, takes down Philo. Jester actually sneaking up ramp, cutting Matt CD unaware. Destiny does reply onto him while in that middle area. Smurfy does take down Pixel and Jokes onto Destiny. Dizzy onto Jokes, and its trades go back and forth. It's left in a 2v2 as I said. Smurfy takes down Gaza. Now Dizzy left alone in a 1v2 here with these 2 Skyfire players. Smurfy looks like he is going to try and jump into window, which might be ill-advised. He's leaving his teammate alone, but no, he has the read on Dizzy there, and 3k for Smurfy. Great job by the experienced veteran player, showing that he has some skill left in his bag of tricks.
Yeah, exactly, and beautifully played there by Skyfire. I mean, there was fights all over the map there. There was no concentration of players anywhere. They were just trading all over the map, so a little bit tough to see how it all went down. However, we'll just do the best that we can to cover this one, and it's looking as if it's a very hesitant A play here from Skyfire. I mean, Project 90, they've only got those P250s, and so once again they do really well to get those guns out of the hands of Skyfire. But yeah, Skyfire opting to go quite quietly towards B, but there's a player there and it's Dizzy, and Smurfy just manages to spot him, takes him down there, so Dizzy's out of this one. And then 4 players actually moving mid while Smurfy pushes up from what looks like the apps area, and they're going to push short here, all 4 members, as Gaz trying to get that read and that intel, but quickly taken down, and Pixel's going to take a few pot shots there through connector, but not going to find any of those, and Philo's going to find one in market. It should just be a pretty simple round from here on out for Skyfire. Just need to take down those 2 players with P250s, and it looks like they're going to try and get some exits, but will Skyfire decide to push this one and try and do some damage and get some kills here? It'll be interesting to see what they do end up doing. As Skyfire, they're just throwing nade after nade in there as a flashbang comes out from Jokes, and there is still Matt CD. He's going to peek right now as Jokes just happens to have a gun in his hand and not throwing a nade. There is a man short here, so he might get caught out. There we go. Pixel's going to manage to find one, but that's all the damage that they can do, really.
Yeah, really interesting round there. Skyfire putting those 5 players towards A, ready to do some kind of setup, but they realized at some point that that it was more than likely that P90 had pushed up towards mid or towards the B carps, meaning that they were probably in a bad situation, and they did a really interesting play. They decided to push back towards B, cleared all that out, they catch Dizzy, and avoid the stack from the CT players and hold that thought, because we see there's quite an aggressive play here from SkyFire, pushing up the A ramp. Dizzy managed to get 2 kills, and Matt CD will get the 3rd there, as he manages to just dodge those bullets from Jester staying alive. Smurfy was that player that went down there on A ramp. Philo now very low. He does manage to get the kill onto Dizzy before going down, being traded out. Now Jester in a pretty unwinnable situation. The fast play there from SkyFire not playing in their favor. Matt CD is going to save that AWP for Dizzy next round, and Jester has just got to try and do some more economic damage here, like he did in that last round, and hopefully get 1 or 2 kills. But very clean hold there by P90, and a bit sloppy maybe from SkyFire.
Yeah, P90 just starting to settle a little bit here. They did lose those last 5 rounds in a row, and they managed to pick one up now, but they need to string a few together now, as that money break could be exactly what SkyFire really needed. However, we'll see how this one plays out. We haven't seen too much AWP play here from SkyFire, as Dizzy's back on that AWP, and they're definitely covering that mid. They've got Destiny in that connector area, and Pixel in window, and a man short, so they definitely don't want SkyFire to get in control of that mid area, as they have been so often. So deliberately kind of going out of their way to do this, as AJK had the drop there on Destiny. However, got flashed, peaked a little bit too early, but he does find Destiny in the end. Dizzy will find one onto Philo, and Jester's going to push out onto this A site and just surprises Matt CD there, and he has control of that A side. He's probably going to call out to his boys saying that it's clear. However, can't be too careful, as he does find one in jungle, but he can't get the kill. AJK is going to try and trade. He pulls out. There we go. He gets it. He was getting shot from the short area, and now it's a 3v2 towards SkyFire, as Gaz is just creeping up quietly, but Smurfy has the perfect angle on that, surprisingly, coming out of T stairs, as they are going to set up for this A site. Smurfy's going to plant here, and the last player remaining is Dizzy, and he's got that AWP on short, but there is a man approaching. Dizzy's going to take him. Now AJK is going to be able to get that frag. Just awesome positioning there, and yeah, very, very interesting rounds. A lot of spread across the map, and some really good angles right across the board.
Yeah, really intelligent play by SkyFire. They've just got perfect read on P90 Elites seemingly every round in every situation. We see now Pixel and Gaza have picked up the AWPs. They're trying to, do something completely different, as AJK takes a little bit of friendly nade damage there, but all's fair in love and war as we go into this 13th round. Gaza dropping down there, trying to spot out AJK, but AJK quick enough to get away without taking any damage from that aggressive AWP. As we see Gaza actually push up and take down Jokes with that AWP, and he's going to re-peek here onto AJK, and he's going to take him down as well. He's going to be careful here. Smurfy's going to catch him if he's not, and yeah, that's exactly what happens, but Pixel backs him up, gets that trade. Philo does manage to answer back before Destiny there, so much better teamwork from P90 Elites in this round than the previous 12, but it might be a little too late. I hope they're just warming up, getting up to the level that they're capable of, as we see Jester now once again in a 1v3 situation. Gotta say, I've been really impressed by SkyFire's team play so far. I think anyone would look at these two lineups and say, SkyFire, they're not the best, on paper, they're not the better team. The man for man, you put any one of Skyfire's men up against any one of P90 Elites, and 9 times out of 10, the P90 Elites player is going to win. But we've seen so far in these first 12 rounds, that's not the case. P90 Elites not stepping up to the level they're capable of, and SkyFire just reading their individual plays like a book, as we see Jester take down Matt CD in this 1v3. He's going to get Destiny as well. No, he can't do it. He's actually going to get the bomb down right on time. I don't know how Jester's done that. This guy's a magician. He's not really a Jester. He does take a bullet there through the wall, and Oh, he was on 1 HP there. Nearly made that 1v3 happen. P90 Elites just unable to make that just by the skin of their teeth winning that round. Jester, this guy, he's a clutch master, I think. Or at least very close to being a clutch master.
He certainly did do well in that situation. Two players remaining only had about 714 health, and he had that AK, so it was so close. He did really, really well to get that first pick, and then when he sort of came around past jungle and spotted the man outside connector, nearly got that kill. Lost a bit of accuracy from walking to the left there, but we do see Matt CD with that P90 takedown Jester, and like, we haven't seen much AWPing from SkyFire either. So, do have two AWPs on the Project 90 team, and yeah, a bit of a spread here as Destiny's going to find Philo, and there's no one really near Philo at that connector area, so there's not going to be much of a reply there, but we're seeing Project 90 take a bit of control in this game, and yeah, just 3 players remaining from SkyFire, so what are they going to do? It's looking like something around mid at the moment. They still have 50 seconds to work with, as we'll just see what they're going to plan out. Smurfy's heading towards apps here, and Gaz, well, if they go apps, Gaz has the perfect position here with that P90, and it's amazing how many players don't check that spot, as they look to be approaching the B site through apps, Wooly.
Yeah, and here they go. They've thrown some smokes and some flashes into the side. Gaz is actually letting all of them pass before he does manage to take 2 down. And Smurfy, though, getting 2 kills, and he's actually left in a 1v2. The bomb, however, dropped in a very unfortunate position. And this should be an easy kill for Matt CD, although he's making it look very difficult. And Smurfy's actually going to get him, but he's got no time. He's not going to be able to get this bomb down. He tried to make some magic happen there, sort of grabbing the bomb with his toe as he jumps out the window. But he actually does survive there. I thought Destiny would catch him. As we're going into the last round now, SkyFire don't have the best economy, so it's going to be a bit of a average buy for them. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do off of this. Hopefully we do see some sort of execute, because we've seen how well they do play in these slow rounds and how they play off of these executes. So I'd like to see a sort of default into some sort of coordinated take onto a bomb site to catch the P90 elites off guard, because they seem quite incapable of dealing with that. Although, you know, they've won the last 3 of the last 4 rounds, the P90 elites, so maybe they're starting to wake up.
Yeah, and of course, what's interesting to note as well on SkyFire is that Smurfy's leading the charge here with 20 kills and 6 deaths, and there's a couple of teammates trailing behind, but the Project 90 boys are sort of sitting around the same area almost in terms of score, but Smurfy is definitely the biggest and most impactful player that we've seen in terms of score in this match. So we'll see what he can implement on the team of SkyFire here, as we are just going through a pause here. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of this double AWP from Project 90, and it seems like, I mean, it's sort of paying off that, you know, Project 90 have won the last 3 rounds out of 4, and so they're starting to get back into this match. However, SkyFire just, they'd like to win this round. They don't have that much of a buy, and yeah, look like Project 90 will have a bit of an advantage going into this final round in the first half.
Yeah, it's important to note that, however, P90 elites, they don't have the best nades. Matt CD and Pixel only having a flash each, as the pause does go through. So looks like we are going to get into this 15th round, this last round of the first half. SkyFire, though, they've got to be happy with the 8 rounds that they've got. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It does look like they're going to go pretty aggressively towards A. It might be just a straight rush right up the A ramp, trying to catch some players unawares, and that's exactly what happens as Smurfy gets the entry onto Matt CD, and it's going to be very difficult here for, I think, for P90 to retake this, but I would like to see SkyFire go a bit more aggressive. If they just sit back here, it's going to be a lot easier for them. Actually, Philo getting two very quickly onto Destiny and Gaza. Dizzy does manage to answer back, silence him finally, and he does get the third onto AJK, the third for the round, but he's left now in a 1v2, and it's going to be very difficult for him, I think, as he does jump over Jokes, and Jokes finishing him off there with that deagle, and that's 9-6 for SkyFire. With that broken by Smurfy finishing the half with 21 kills and 6 deaths. A great effort on his part.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Project 90 decided to gamble and send about 3 or 4 players out to mid, while SkyFire just decided to rush up T-stairs at A. So, yeah, a bit of an interesting one. Trying to take a bit of a gamble. Both teams trying to catch each other off guard. SkyFire seemed to get the better of that exchange in that round, but as we do see the roles reversed now, we're seeing Project 90 on that T side and SkyFire on the defensive CT side, as Dizzy's going to push through this smoke here and try and find one onto Gaz. Try and find one onto Philo, but it's a 3v3 situation now. Dizzy picking up another one. He's got 3 so far, and Smurfy and AJK with all the work to do now. Project 90 boys are already set up for this defense, and it's going to be a really tough one, especially with Smurfy on 10 health, and Pixel's going to find one with those dual Berettas, and yeah, Smurfy, I mean, he's going to get taken down there. He did actually have a kit, I believe, however, unable to put it to much use.
Interesting to note that Pixel actually got dropped Deagle by Gaza in that pistol round, and he bought armor, and then he immediately swapped it out for dual Berettas as soon as he found them on the corpse of a CT player. And we see, once again, P90 Elites are going to waste no time going very aggressive up this A ramp, and Jokes with the scout rips Matt CD's head clean off. That's what we like to see, and now that's going to put the brakes on this offensive take now. As we do see, they throw out some smokes and some grenades. Gaza does manage to find Jester towards that middle area, coming up that mid-con. Pixel takes down Philo, and we're going to see Dizzy put the bomb down here. Jokes is in a bit of a bad position now. He's going to get run down by Gaza, and now AJK Freak and AJK and Smurfy, they've got a lot of work cut out for them. I think Smurfy does manage to get one, though. That's pretty impressive, actually. I didn't think he'd be able to do that. And AJK gets one as well, and then Gaza with that scout. So Smurfy's going to run away here and save the armor and the 5-7, but still a very effective round, actually, from SkyFire, taking 3 guns away from the terrorists and doing quite a lot of economic damage, even though they did manage to get that bomb down.
Yeah, Skyfire doing alright there. A lot, like you said, a lot of economical damage there. 3 players off the map, as Dizzy right now is kind of the top fragger, or is the top fragger for Project 90 with those 17 kills and 13 deaths. However, we're gonna see SkyFire go on that eco, and Project 90 have a pretty decent buy here, as they're gonna look like they're actually gonna push out here on T stairs, and they're gonna get out on site. Jokes has taken a lot of damage there from that scout. A bit unfortunate there, as we do see a member from SkyFire holding a really sneaky spot, as Dizzy will find that one out, and so Jokes is going to go down from that nade and those scout shots earlier in the round. Destiny's going to find one onto Smurfy, and AJK, rather Jester, is going to push into Palace with just his knife and get taken down, and SkyFire just getting obliterated on that eco.
Yeah, not close at all. P90 Elites wasting no time pushing into that site and proving their worth, really, and showing just how skilled they are. Giving no respect to SkyFire whatsoever. Evening it up now, 9-9, winning those first 3 rounds in the second half. It's going to be very difficult now for SkyFire to get back to keep this economy rolling, because this is where a snowball can happen, where the T's just sort of get their economy going so well, because you'll notice that the SkyFire economy is very bad now, even though they're on their first gun round. So they're going to have to win a few gun rounds back to back, and that's not going to help them, as Dizzy takes out Jokes, and he's going to push onto this A side, and he's going to catch Jester out before Philo does trade him back. But the push is coming from two directions, actually. They're pushing onto B and A simultaneously, just picking apart the SkyFire side. And we're starting to see just how strong these players are once they've got those AKs in hand, as opposed to those M4s, which have received quite a few nerfs lately. And Matt CD is going to finish off the round there, taking out Philo. And Skyfire now are back on the ecos. So while the P90 economy is rolling out quite nicely, and this is the snowball that I was talking about, it's going to be really hard for Skyfire because they're more than likely going to lose this round. And then P90 Elites will be able to buy out for most of the rest of the half, and Skyfire have to somehow crawl their way back into it. As we see Gaza just running up the ramp there. Does manage to get two before he's finally silenced by Jester. Matt CD just trade back and gets two of his own. And now it's all up to AJK left in a 1v4. If he does manage to get a kill here, that would be quite nice. But I think it's unlikely at this point with just the P250. And it does look like he might find Matt CD here, but Matt CD definitely does hear him there, and he might push out behind him. Oh, but AJK getting the better of him. That was quite sneaky, actually, by AJK, just showing that he's not just a pretty face, as he does do a little bit of damage on a pixel there, but he needs to be careful here of Destiny, who's going to get a jumping headshot. And that's the 11th round now, and the 5th round in a row for P90 Elites. Another, seems like it happened overnight, like very quickly.
Yeah, Project 90, I feel like they've got a feel for Skyfire and the way they play now, and they can really settle in. And I have a really distinct feeling that they're going to try and run away with this one now. And we're going to see Jester with that orb now, so I think it's one of the first times I've seen Skyfire with that orb, and he's going to be holding connector there with it, as he's going to find one onto Dizzy. See, this is the element of surprise that can really, really do some damage, as we are seeing a lot of players spread out. Two players from Project 90 are actually on that A site, and have got a little bit of control there, but don't really have, they don't really have those positions that they need, as AJK is going to be holding a position against Destiny in those apps, as Jokes is going to throw that smoke up, and he's going to get traded. No, he's not. Jokes is going to get that entry onto Gaza, and Destiny, meanwhile, is going to find one on B. Will he find the second? He does jump away and throw a flashbang in return, as AJK just picks him up, as well as Pixel's coming out on the A side. It's happening everywhere, folks, as Pixel's got control of that A side, but will he spot the man that is Philo? He will in the end, but we are in a 2v2 situation. The bomb for Project 90 is committing to that B site. Matt CD is going to place that one very, very shortly, as it's not a bad angle to have here for Pixel. See if any members come through window room and out through market. However, it seems as if Skyfire are going to push short, but that angle, Matt CD whiffs the shot. That hurts, but he's going to find the second one and make up for it, as we do see Jester once again, the last man remaining, but he does have that orb, so it would seem that he's gonna just save that and hold on to it for the next round. But like I said, I think Project 90 are just really starting to stake their claim in this game and are starting to prove their dominance so far.
Yeah, Jester not having a kit there, probably the wise decision to back out once AJK went down. Very interesting round. P90 Elites just pushing every area of the map and making right calls off of it. Pixel telling his teammate, go plant B while I'm in CT spawn, so you don't have to worry about checkers at all. And that just allowed Matt CD to plant in a very, very open position, and all he had to worry about was short. Skyfire not reading the rotations from this team from the Skyfire team quite as well as he did when they were on that CT side. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. Jester there with the AWP does get the tag onto Gaza. That must have been through the wall. He's down to 3 HP. As we see AJK Freak pushing out. And so same with Philo. And they're actually like losing quite a lot of men here. But you can see Destiny once again. He's just so good at lurking his way onto this B site. And he's got complete control of it now. He's cleared the whole thing out. And Dizzy takes down Smurfy. Now it's a 3v3, and this isn't impossible for Skyfire, especially with Jester picking up that kill onto Dizzy. Destiny does have control, and he does understand now that they're most likely coming from short. He is going to clear out this area, and then he's going to help his teammate or not, as Matt City just go down. Destiny now is going to get actually caught out. So actually a really convincing round there by SkyFire with those pistols. Maybe P90 Elite's playing a little too aggro there, and getting caught out by some of these aggressive pistol players in SkyFire.
Yeah, Jester with that AWP, he's really broke through the Project 90 defense there, rather the attack there. So yeah, Jester, he's got those 2 kills. He picked up 2 nice ones in apps, and he's doing quite well with it. It seems to be a bit of an element of surprise that he's using it now, but he's been very efficient with it. So I do not disagree with the call for him to use that AWP. Dizzy, of course, got his hands on his, as Destiny's got the drop there on Jester, and he's going to take him down. So it's going to be an interesting round here. 4 versus 5 as Matt CD. He's going to get spotted by Philo. Philo's going to reposition, so Pixel does a bit of tossing and turning, but eventually finds that kill, and now they have that A site secure. So SkyFire, with 2 men remaining, are going to try and push in here, but Destiny, he's going to find that beautiful nade into connector, managing to place that almost perfectly. And Smurfy, well, it's going to be a tough task. He hasn't really got too many kills on this CT side, as he's still top fragging, but Destiny is going to find him in the end. So 13-10 in favor of Project 90.
And the economy for SkyFire is really in trouble, and this is what I mentioned, and they're actually going to force buy here, and this isn't so bad. I mean, they did have that success in the last round, but you can see the P90 Elite's economy is just great. They've got 6k on 2 players, 7k on another, 4k on another. They're never going to be one for... Wow, great frag there by Jokes with that headshot. AJK Freak, though, going down to Pixel in that underpass area, so traded out very quickly, and we can see now that SkyFire don't have very many grenades to work with. Smurfy managing to get away from Gaza there, and then rips his head clean off with the 5-7. That's a really nice frag there from Smurfy, and that's what we need to see for his team to stay in this. Pixel is going to spam a little bit through that wall. He does manage eventually to close out that kill on Smurfy. Jester, I think, maybe missing the trade frag there, unable to help his teammate as they converge slowly on this A site. Pixel's going to get smoked out, actually. It's Jokes, he needs to be careful here, nearly burning alive. That was a really close call. Dizzy missing the shot. And now they're going to get the bomb down for that mid-con player in Pixel. So it's going to be quite difficult, actually, for SkyFire to retake this, because Pixel's set up now in this situation, especially if Matt CD gets those 2 kills. Go at the third, mate. Why don't you? He can't land the spray, though, and Philo closes out that kill. But it's still a pretty unwinnable situation for Philo, and he knows it. He's going to back off and save this gun.
Yeah, and this is where it's getting crunch time now for SkyFire. We've seen an awesome performance from them so far, but Project 90 just coming away with these rounds and essentially just getting that bomb plant before SkyFire can really respond to it in a really beneficial way, I guess. And so yeah, Philo's going to get taken down as well, so that's really going to hurt now SkyFire. It's 14-10, and they can't really buy that much. I mean, they're sort of forced to using pistols here. They're going to buy up a few pistols, maybe a few grenades, but it's really tough for them now. It's kind of crunch time. They really need to do some damage here. I mean, it's going to take Project 90 over to 15-10, and they will be able to buy at least some guns. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting as Matt CD is going to fire one onto AJK, and yeah, it should be a fairly quick round from how Project 90 have been playing this, as Gaz is going to push through connector. He's going to find Jokes. As, yeah, it's probably going to be really quick here. As yeah, Gaz will find Smurfy as well. So it's all up to SkyFire to do now. They really need to buy what they can and just put everything they can into this round. But it's going to be a tall task, and especially because Project 90 just have massive amounts of cash at this stage.
Yeah, we mentioned in the start of the game that this map, traditionally a CT-sided map, but we see more and more common now that the T side can get just as many rounds, if not more, than the CT side. And we're seeing that now with, you know, SkyFire. They had that 9-6 lead at the half, and then now, you know, P90 Elites, it's like that never happened. They've brought it back completely the other way, getting so many rounds in a row. SkyFire only managed to get one round in this second half, and that was a very close one, if I do remember correctly. Yeah, two players surviving in that round. So Destiny does manage to take down Smurfy on the entry here, like he's so good at doing on this B side. Destiny just a monster. Matt CD and Gaz are going to open it up as well. AJK Freak here jumping out, but he goes down to Pixel and Gaza, and now it's just Philo left in a 1v4. This is an unwinnable situation for Philo. He does manage to take down Gaza though, so a fair effort, but no, Dizzy closes it out the round. 16-10 for P90 Elites, yet to drop a map. SkyFire had them on the ropes there for a second, but ended up not being enough in the end. After winning that pistol, they just snowballed out of control, and SkyFire just unable to do anything about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, it just seemed on that, like you were saying, on that T side, Project 90 just absolutely destroyed Skyfire. It's like Skyfire didn't have an answer for anything that they were implementing, and it was really, really tough for them. So, yeah, they only won that one round as CT. And like you were saying, we're seeing traditionally in the Australian scene more teams gravitating to winning those T sides. And so, yeah, Skyfire, unfortunately, against all that experience on Project 90, unable to come up with any answers on that CT side, and therefore, yeah, dropping that map. So, really strong performance, though, by Project 90. I mean, it took them a little bit of time to get going, but once they got going, they definitely staked their claim on that match.
Absolutely. I mean, you could tell just in that second half, if you hadn't seen the first half, you would have thought, geez, Skyfire must have been lucky to get 9 rounds in that first half. I mean, Project 90, just you can see the skill, just the pure individual skill from player to player on that team. They're just so capable of going out by themselves and getting kills by themselves. And Skyfire, they played really well on that T side. They had really good teamwork, really good reads on how Project 90 were playing. But on the when they switched to the CT side, not so much. Their teamwork wasn't so great, and they got caught out more often than not. Project 90 Elites just stamping their claim on that match, just pushing so aggressively, taking fights left, right, and center. I mean, we saw so many rounds where Destiny was getting kills at B, and then everyone else was getting kills in mid and A, and then they would just then they'll be like, well, now we can do literally anything we want, and no decision is really a bad decision because we've gotten all the kills, basically. So, really strong showing from Project 90 Elites, showing that there is talent behind these names still, and a pretty scary side. I mean, this is a strong contender, like you said, to take out first place in this tournament and possibly sneak into the bottom of Div 1 next season. It would be really interesting to see how they match up against some of their former teammates in teams like XL5 and Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just that wealth of experience. And a big part of Counter Strike and a big component of competitive Counter Strike is reading your opponents. I think getting analysis on the way that your opponents play and their style of play and what they're doing in certain maps and in certain situations, I think it goes a really long way. Sometimes it gets ignored from teams. Rather, they like to, sort of go with the fly a little bit. They've got their strategy, and they see what works and what doesn't work and go from there. And that's one side to the analysis, but also you really, really want to have that good read. And unfortunately, Skyfire just couldn't do it on that CT side. And yeah, just I mean, Project 90 just way too strong, and they were doing it so well on that T side. You were mentioning things like they'd get those 2 early kills, and pretty much any decision's a good decision. So yeah, it's just they're a really strong team, and Skyfire they fought hard, but unfortunately just couldn't get the job done in the end.
It's going to be really interesting to see who they end up playing out of Fox and Control Esports Volpriv, because you know Fox apparently they you know or it might be faux actually. I was just thinking like faux pas. It might be faux. That's how you spell it. But their symbol is a fox, so that's what confused me. Like their logo. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like Fox or if it's faux. But anyway, going to be interesting to see that they have upset so many teams. They managed to beat Trident, they managed to beat Aura, they managed to beat Atletico, and we haven't heard much from these teams. I spoke to some people trying to find out a bit more about them. Apparently, they have played CGA for a few seasons back to back, but never really managed to do anything. So this must be a bit of a breakout for them. It's just showing that this scene is getting bigger and bigger every season, every day, and we're getting new talent coming up out of nowhere. It wasn't long ago that some of these players in SkyFire and some of the players in Avant, they were like these players in Foe, just coming out of nowhere. So it's great to see that we've got some real up and coming talent. Whether they can beat the experienced roster from Control, that's going to be another matter. So it's going to be interesting to see the result of that match. That match is still going. But if we're just going to have a look at the lower bracket here, Trident have managed to come all the way back after getting dropped down in the first round versus Foe, and they're going to play Climax actually in losers round four. Atletico is playing the Shovelmen, whoever they are, as well, in the lower bracket, and Avant is playing Alpha Sydney. Alpha Sydney getting dropped out quite early, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they got actually beaten 16-14 by Sad Boys. That's the team that Project 90 Elites played right before Skyfire. So quite an interesting turn of events. Alpha Sydney looking quite strong from Div 2 last season. They made top four, beating Atletico, who was undefeated during the season. So it was quite a big deal at the time. So interesting that they did manage to drop out to a team of a less experienced team per se. But Alpha Sydney, they've managed to fight their way back now after that loss, and they're going to be playing against Avant, and then Sad Boys are playing against Aura. We do see now that the result has actually come in for Control Esports versus Foe, and they've actually managed to win. So you will see Control Esports versus Project 90 Elites, and Foe is going to wait in that loser bracket with Skyfire for these teams to come up. So I think that pretty much sums it up for me and Lemmy today. Elfish Guy and Mike Star, they'll be with you for the matches after this. Thanks so much for watching here on the BlasterX Cup on Team Down TV. I'm Michael Woolley-Erkt, and I'm joined by Lemmy. Thank you so much for joining me, mate.
No worries. It's been a pleasure, Wooly. We'll definitely do it again in the future. And yeah, thank you to our audience and also Cyanide for doing the stuff behind the scenes and putting this whole production together as well. So thank you guys. We'll have another match for you shortly. And from me and Wooly, thank you very much for watching.